He says, like every other group, we must be judged by our leaders and by those who are themselves gay, those who are invisible. For invisible, we remain in limbo, a myth, a person with no parents, no brothers, no sisters, no friends who are straight, no important positions in employment. A tenth of the nation supposedly composed of stereotypes and would-be seducers of children, and no offense meant to the stereotypes. But today, the black community is not judged by its friends, but by its black legislators and leaders. And we must give people the chance to judge us by our leaders and legislators. A gay person in office can set a tone, can command respect not only from the larger community, but from the young people in our own community who need both examples and hope. The first gay people we elect must be strong. They must not be content to sit on the back of the bus. They must not be content to accept pablum. They must be above wheeling and dealing. They must be, for the good of all of us, independent, unbought. The anger and the frustrations that some of us feel is because we are misunderstood. And friends can't feel that anger and frustration. They can sense it in us, but they can't feel it. Because a friend has never gone through what is known as coming out. I will never forget what it was like coming out and having nobody to look up toward. I remember the lack of hope, and our friends can't fulfill that. I can't forget the looks on the faces of people who have lost hope, be they gay, be they seniors, be they blacks looking for an almost impossible job, be they Latins trying to explain their problems and aspirations in a tongue that's foreign to them. I personally will never forget that people are more important than buildings. I use the word I because I'm proud. I stand here tonight in front of my gay sisters, brothers, and friends because I'm proud of you. I think it's time that we have many legislators who are gay and proud of the fact and do not have to remain in the closet. I think that a gay person up front will not walk away from responsibility and be afraid of being tossed out of office. After Dade County, I walked among the angry and the frustrated night after night, and I looked at their faces. And in San Francisco, 3 days before Gay Pride, a person was killed just because he was gay. And that night, I walked among the sad and the frustrated at City Hall in San Francisco. And later that night, as they lit candles on Castro Street, stood in silence, reaching out for some symbolic thing that would give them hope. These were strong people, people whose faces I knew from the shop, the streets, the meetings, and people I never saw before, but I knew. They were strong, but even they needed hope.
He's a very complex person. And there is no easy answer to all of those things. But I could tell you a little bit about the culture from which he came, what produced Harvey Milk. I could tell you a little about the themes of the day and some of his legacy. But before I get too far into that, I want to find out if that's what you really want to know. Because if not, I could switch it up. So who has a thought? Who wants to know something in particular? Anything?
How about you tell us who Harvey Milk is?
Okay, well, let's see. What do you know about Harvey Milk? A lot like Jesus, he had 5 wounds that killed him. A lot like Jesus, he lives on. A lot like Jesus, he was a Jew. He actually grew up in World War II. These are my views based on public references, based on research that I did. I actually went on a pilgrimage to San Francisco as part of this to really get in touch with who he was, to experience the places. And the first time I did that, I really didn't get it. It wasn't a pilgrimage, I was just going out there to check out grad schools. And I was like, yeah, okay, it's a gay place, and there's a gay community here, and that was okay. The first time I had heard of Harvey Milk was when I was coming out. And I wanted to go into public life, I wanted to do good things, and I was afraid that if I came out, if I was gay, I wouldn't have a future in public life. I wouldn't be able to make a difference at all. And it was a devastating period of my life. And I went to a spiritual home not far up the road where they had a peace flag group, and someone showed me a Harvey Milk button and told me about them. And she said, you really should check this guy out because he was a politician. And I said, well, what happened to him? He got shot. I was like, that's maybe not the fate I want to have. So I broke down again. I said, no, can't do this. So the next time I found out more about Harvey Milk, if you know me pretty well, you know I like deals, I like shopping thrifts all the time. And I'm a pretty spiritual person, and I sort of have come to find my own path with the divine, which is what I admire most about this group. You really do seek multiple ways to come to know God and spirit, and whatever you want to call him or her, the great divine being that's out there, and creator. So, when I went to the National Cathedral in DC, I found an icon. And I was like, okay, it's the Harvey Milk of San Francisco. This is coming up again in my life, and it was like $3. So I figured, why not? I'll go ahead and I'll get it. And I'll research more about Harvey Milk later because that lady at that church place told me something about Harvey Milk.